All right, welcome back to the Run.down over here on the Strickland YouTube channel and the Strickland Podcast Network. Postgame show coming at you right after Knicks versus Blazers. I got Tyrese
Oh,
with me here, aka
sorry,
London
Spencer didn't
Stereo.
wait. Spencer didn't wait. Just hit a buzzer beater in Brooklyn. Holy shit!
Oh
Sorry,
wow,
that was that. Yeah,
talk
that
about
was totally off
revenge.
cuff.
God bless.
Oh
And we
man,
got
he's like,
Jeff here, aka Frank Barrett 119. Um, yeah, so tonight's a crazy night in the NBA. Yeah, we had the Knicks game today. Knicks ended up winning by at least, I think it was like 30. They beat them by at least.
Yeah, it was by 30.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was exactly 30.
All right, so it was a 30 piece. RJ Barrett, good old 31 points. Calm night, He didn't have to do too much. It looked pretty effortless on his end. Um Randall struggled tonight immensely. 20 points, but it was not the prettiest 20 points ever.
We collected stats.
Quickly
And
played
he
a
and he got the Embiid whistle all night, which was like,
yeah. Portland
We'll
didn't know
especially
what to do with him.
We take that.
it was weird. It was weird to be getting it for us, like him just lunging into people and getting sent to the free throw line.
Yeah, it means somehow the refs have to give us our due. If it's not RJ getting his free throws, they got to get someone on the team to get some foul calls. But yeah, I thought he played he played a pretty good passing game, or for some parts of the game at least. There were other parts where like he looked like he was just trying to force too much. And then we had a lot of the young guys play well today. Emmanuel quickly keeping up his regular old consistent streak that he's been on recently. You got Obi Toppin, who managed to, in the blowout, only play, what was it, 15 minutes, Tyrese?
Not even 15, 14 minutes.
I don't even think
14 minutes. Wow, 14 minutes in a blowout. But
he has to be on a minutes limit, right, or like a restriction. That's the only explanation.
Maybe, yeah, like probably.
I don't know. So, right? It's like it's so bizarre.
I mean, I had like a 7,000 word thread today shitting on Tibbs, so I'm not like looking to take up for him. But like, how can he only play 14 minutes tonight? That's just preposterous.
Like, it definitely, unless it's the minutes limit, then like it makes no sense.
Yeah, but 30-point blowout. There's not really much to harp on, but we will talk about some other things going on in the Knicks verse in terms of news and all that other good stuff. But what stood out to you guys tonight?
RJ making it effortless again. 31 points, 20 shots. Just another solid game from him. 31 points, 5 assists, so great passing once again. Efficient from 3 as well, 5 11 from 3. Also efficient from the free throw line, which is critical for him, 6 to 7. So he got it done tonight, all facets. 2 steals, a block. Got to get done with passing, got it done with shooting. That's what you want to see from RJ. Like, he's taking a leap. He's established himself now, and now it's just like carry it out to the end of the season.
And per StatMuse, I'm just seeing this now. Over his last 25 games, 24.5 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and 36.6 3-point percentage on 6.1 attempts. Pretty solid stuff.
Yeah, this is just who he is now.
And that's exactly what StatMuse says. It says this is who he is now.
We'll take that.
Yep.
Like this is what
and
you want
just
to
like, and it just like, I mean, I'm always like I feel like I'm always such a freaking like negative Nancy, so I just feel like such a dick. But it just makes it so much more frustrating.
Jeff, you're cutting out.
When
cutting out.
They come at. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I?
Yeah, say that again.
For a second there.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying it. It adds to the frustration when they have stretches like they did in the third quarter, when Burks and Randall just control everything and the pace grinds to a halt, and RJ doesn't touch the ball.
Yeah, it's just like,
I mean, he was easily on pace for like 40 tonight, I think. If he got because there was a stretch in like the latter portion of the first half, right before halftime, where like the ball just went straight to Julius and like it did not see anyone else's hands basically. And like I don't know if they were trying to force Randall into like rhythm, but it just wasn't working. And I felt like it would have been more useful to keep RJ the hot hand, just like ride it all the way.
Yeah, and like I'm not like ignorant. I know that it can't just only run through RJ. That's not what I'm asking. I actually want it to be a more team oriented ball. But I actually think that when they go into these like Burks Randall 2-man games, that's when the ball gets the most stagnant. I think when when the offense is run through RJ, that's when more people touch the ball.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you see it in the assist numbers when we run point RJ. I mean, like lately we've reverted back to point Burks, which is like pretty annoying and like not fun. But we got it done today against a really bad Portland team, so you kind of just like ignore it for now. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I do agree that I'd rather see the offense run through RJ just because it's just like you're giving him the reps that you want to see him develop further in the future. So why not just start now?
Yeah, I mean, I get the merit and the idea of like trying to get Randall his touches because like he needs his touches obviously, but at the same time it's like I think Randall did kind of like give the ball to RJ in stretches where like he was like I don't have it, I'll kick it out to RJ. You would like to see a better balance, but like tonight RJ still got his. Julius tried to get his going, couldn't get it done with the shooting, got it down the line though. So to me, it felt like I would like to see a better distribution, but 31 points for RJ can't really complain.
Yeah.
I know we also talked that we wanted to speak on quickly as well.
Point guard, shooting guard, combo guard, winning
18
player.
points,
I mean, okay,
five rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, 4 or 5 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3 point. So just a
18
pretty
points on 5 shots, dude.
people still complaining. I had to address a post I saw on Twitter on my feed that popped up of someone complaining that he doesn't pass the rock because I don't know, like I don't know what he has to do to gain the approval of certain portions of this fan base.
What
Like
the
I really
fuck do
don't.
y'all want? What the fuck do y'all want? He had 6 assists. He had 6 assists. Do you want him to average a double double every time he touches the court? Like at some point, we got to announce the fact that he had 18 points on 5 shots. He took more free throws than shots. He made more free throws than shots he took. Like plus 17, 18 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, a steal. A steal in like 8 straight games now. At some point, we just need to acknowledge the fact that even if he's not a point guard, or if he's not the point guard of the future, or if he's just a 2 guard or shooting guard, the guy contributes to winning basketball probably better than anybody else on this team. And we don't do a lot of fucking winning. So we should probably play him.
I think I'm just going to try and step into their shoes for a second. I think that where their frustration lies, and this, I don't share this frustration. I love Quickly. You two know that. I think where their frustration lies is that when he is running the show, it certainly seems like from an aesthetic standpoint that it has to run through him. Like every possession is him dribbling at the top of the key and he dictates everything. And when this was Emmanuel Quickly 3 months ago, I'm starting to understand more and more the frustration because he wasn't making anything and he wasn't nearly the distributor he is right now. But those people are holding on to those preconceived notions from months ago and not acknowledging the fact that he's a great connector right now. And we have the most team-oriented possessions. He didn't just have six assists tonight. He had multiple fake things that didn't go down as assists that ended in free throws. One for Jericho Sims under the basket and one for RJ on a fast break that should have been a layup and a dunk. And he had multiple hockey assists that ended up in wide open threes for teammates. He just does everything out there right now. And my question to these people now would be, what do they think a true point guard is going to do? That guy isn't going to come in and just team ball just magically appears without him dominating the ball. A true point guard dominates the ball. So all Quickly is doing right now is what they said he couldn't do, which is dictate great offense with a lot of it running through him. That's what he's doing. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, we need a true point guard, and then when he plays like a true point guard, begrudge him for it.
Yeah, I don't know if like these people like I think a lot of these people they have like one version of him in their head already of what they saw earlier in the year, and they just
Exactly.
cannot separate it from what he's doing right now. And like these performances that we're getting from him, this is like consistent good point guard play, and like you haven't seen this on this team in a very long time. And I don't know if maybe that's the reason why people cannot like grasp their minds to it because they haven't seen good point guard play in so long that they don't know what it looks like on this team. But that's what it looks like. Emmanuel quickly is that, and like I don't know, 6 assists isn't moving you. Like, do you want him to go out there and drop like 13, 14 dimes like prime Chris Paul or something? Like, that's not what you're gonna get out of a point guard these days. Like Chris Paul's like you said last time, they're very rare breed of point guard. There's not many of them in the league today. So what you're getting out quickly is what you're gonna get out of most other point guards at a probably higher level. But for what quickly is at right now, it's it's at a pretty decent level.
And the thing is, it was like the pure point guards that people talk about, like, oh, Trey Young and Luca and stuff like that. Those guys are like putting up 30 points a game and like 11 assists, and they're doing 11 assists because like they hold the ball all game long. They run heliocentric offenses. Like Quickly is doing this while like not dominating the ball nearly as much as those guys, and he's being like his points per pass attempts is like really high. I'm pretty sure it's like upper third percentile. I'm not sure. I have to check the guys, but like the guy
I
is
mean,
like
you just said he had 18 points on 5 shots. If you can't even take a night off from hating on him on a night he had more assists than shots and scored 18 points, you're never gonna like the guy. So just like shut the hell up.
yeah.
You know,
Like, come on. Like the dude is a winning basketball player and he's a great connector. And like even if you do get the point guard of the future, he can play with him. Like there is no reason for this for like the amount of like disdain it quickly gets. It's just weird. It's just weird.
that's such a good point too. His versatility is so underrated because I mean, we talked about it last time, and and there were a few more instances of it tonight. So, and Tyrese, you're the you're the draft profile guy, so I'm curious if you noticed it tonight. But there were multiple turnovers tonight created by him passing up a catch and shoot three to dribble, and those led to. It's starting to drive me nuts. Like I can't, I agree with you that his especially defensive versatility makes him even more valuable, but if he's going to be next to a true point guard and play meaningful minutes for a good team, he has to let those fire.
Yeah.
He can't be reliant on shooting off the dribble primarily. He has to be more comfortable shooting off the catch.
And I think like last year he was comfortable shooting off the catch, but it was like he was what 47% off the catch last year, 34% this year, which is like you want that to be higher, but at the same time it's like
You'll take it.
yeah,
You'll take it.
yeah, just he needs to get more comfortable doing it, and I think he will because like he played off the ball in UK a ton because Higgins was running point, but like yeah, he has to let those fly. The whole team has to let them fly. I hate the
Julius
like
too.
Julius, Fournier, Burks.
Julius hesitate, pump fake, jab,
Like
step
if you're
back.
gonna pump
It's
fake, like pump fake it once and then drive. Don't like
yeah,
pump
because
fake
once you
it.
pump fake again, they know you're pump faking it again.
Yeah,
Because
like you're not Melo. The only person who could ever do that was like Melo, and that's because like Melo had like a lethal ass mid range. Like just
and he
pump
had a
fake
quick
once, drive.
twitch.
Yeah, like pump fake once, get to the basket. If not, kick it out. Simple, but like Julius.
Oh man, one thing that was pissing me off today, Julius, like there's these moments where he is like the Tasmanian devil, where he is like out of control, dribbling the ball, like about to flail his arms. Tonight he got those calls. A lot of nights he is not getting those calls, and
I think
like
recently he's
those.
getting those calls though.
But yeah, but when he's not getting those calls, he starts to get pissed, and then he tries to do it even more to try to get those calls. And it's like those type of things. When people are on Twitter are saying, "Oh, what does it mean for a coach to hold someone accountable?" And they want to say, "Oh, put someone in timeout" as a joke. No, it means like stopping those type of possessions from happening consistently. Because I see people were having a good old time about defending Thibs because they say he holds people accountable, when we all know that's not the case. And we'll get into the Thibs news very, very soon. But that's what fans mean when they want to see people held accountable. Randall not being able to do those possessions and continue to do them over and over and over again.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
And like what we saw from him tonight, in my opinion, he got a lot of assists that were taking advantage of just bad defense, and he got a lot of calls, to Sam's point, that I just don't see him getting against in actual big games. And so somebody tweeted at the Strickland account tonight, because me, ever the pessimist, was like, man, this game just like doesn't matter at all. And they were like, well, what do you mean by that? And I was just like, when I'm watching these games now, knowing that we're probably not going to make the playoffs, I'm looking for things that are sustainable long term. And like those things matter. And so little of what Randall did tonight, aside from his horrid shooting, really actually like mattered long term.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, like I've said before, these last couple games, they're like to see what we have in these guys on the team. Hopefully Grimes comes back so you can get some meaningful reps as well. But yeah, it's just like to see what we have in these young guys and like to learn new things. And like, I mean, we could get to Obi now. Obi playing, what was it, 14 minutes, like I said before?
14 minutes, 12 seconds.
In a blowout. Like, I just don't get it. I guess like Randall had to get that 20. I don't know if it's like an incentive in his contract or something or what it is. Like, he had to get that 20 because as soon as he got the 20, he was subbed out. So
not even an incentive because his incentives are 65 games, playoff, and all-star appearances, and all defense. So there's no incentive.
So like, I just don't get it. What was the point of bringing him back in? Was it like Randall begging to come back in?
Stats.
To keep his numbers up? Is that what it was? Like,
he played to his averages today. The stats did not dip.
Somebody was in the Strickland mentions, and they were like, what if Tibbs realizes that Obi was the better power forward and he's playing his scrubs in the garbage time? And I was like, I don't think he sees him like that, but that's a good theory.
Nah, yeah, he doesn't. He definitely doesn't see him like that. So I guess we can get to the real big juicy news of today.
Wait, Miles.
Miles, huh?
You forgot Miles.
Yeah, we can talk about Miles actually. Yeah,
Miles was hooping today.
He's so good.
7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. 1-1 from the field, 4 free throws. Like that.
He's such a good connector, man. He's such a good connector. Like,
it's a shame when you had to find out how good he is this late into the season, not earlier.
Like, he just does the right thing. Like, I don't look at like the fouling is a bit of an issue, but like a lot of that's just him being a rookie. And he didn't foul that much. He only had one foul. But like 20 minutes, just productive play, plus 11. Like, he's so good, man. He's so good. I love him. I really do.
For someone like me who just like really loves like rewatching the film and really like watching each play, he's just a dream because he's always doing something you have to pay attention to, especially defensively. He made so many plays tonight that like just no one will ever know about, like unless you just really pay attention, in terms of just totally shutting down the opposing team's plays by staying in front of a guy off the dribble, fighting over a screen, making some rotation he's not supposed to. I just can't believe it's taken this long, as Sam was saying, that it's taken this long to play him and for him to get any run at all.
Enjoy it while you can, because you could get a bench as soon as Grimes comes back.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks, man. It's like, it's like when this player comes back, this player has to sit, and it's just like so exhausting and so tiring. But we have a couple of comments coming in, some great questions and whatnot. So how much do you guys think the new ball affected players like quickly shooting early in the season? Great question from RR. I think it affected a lot of these players. I mean, we heard early in the season that a lot of these players, they were complaining that the ball was just not good. Like they just weren't used to it because they were so used to the Spalding ball. And we saw it early in the season with these performances. Like players were putting up pathetic shooting performances. And now it's like these guys are all like scorching red hot. You got 60, 50, 40-point games coming all over the place. And you're seeing our guys starting to shoot the ball better, like RJ and Quickly looking like their last year selves. Even Julius, as of late, besides like tonight's game, he's even like regained some of that shooting touch he had from last year. So I do think to a certain extent the ball did affect the players shooting early in the season, because you see as the season waned on that a lot of these players, they are getting back to their old selves.
Okay, so tinfoil hat theory. Put it on with me. No. Last 2 weeks, they juiced the fucking ball. They juiced that fucking ball. You can't tell me they didn't juice the ball. This feels like the way the ball's been playing since All-Star break, they did something with the ball.
Either they juiced it or the players just got used to it.
Bro, bro, it makes no sense. Like, there's no way. Like, the league has basically been like stagnant and really lethargic until All-Star break, and then all of a sudden post All-Star break, now everybody and their mother is scoring.
Well, a lot of players got to rest during All-Star break too, so there's that for
Man,
your tinfoil hat.
they juice the ball. They juice the ball. This is Adam Silver's league.
Regarding quickly, I agree with Sam. There was just too much across the league. Like people just having these crazy low shooting numbers for it to not play some part. But I think you also just have to give some credence to the fact that he was just clearly trying to prove to Tibbs that he could play point guard. And I think that mentally that got to him a little bit, like him just like second guessing being purely a scorer, and he didn't want to get pigeonholed as that. And so he was like just trying to do too much, and he wasn't playing like himself.
Yeah, definitely, I could see that, and you're seeing now he's playing with like much more of a looseness to his game, where like he doesn't feel like he has someone behind his back, and I think that's due to like Kemba getting benched, D Rose getting hurt, so he kind of knows that he is the one guy that Thibs has to fall back on these days. So like it's him or nothing or Deuce, but you know he really won't throw Deuce out there like that either. But yeah, he kind of has this more freeness to him now that he knows that like he is the guy coming off the bench, and like it's his show to run at that point.
Definitely.
So we have a question that kind of leads into our next topic that we are going to discuss here, which was the big juicy news that came from Jake Fisher from Bleacher Report, who has been really accurate on his reports. I do gotta give him.
He is a prophet.
I gotta give him credit on that. Like he is the one guy. I know that Evan Massey guy is like total dud when it comes to his reports, but Jake Fisher, he's legit. And it basically was a report saying that like it looks like the Knicks are probably just gonna keep Thibs going into next year. And it led to a huge disagreement between the fan base today on Twitter. A lot of people felt like, you know, we shouldn't be changing coaches. Thibs has done a pretty solid job. The roster's not even all that. Blah, blah, blah. You keep going on and on about all the reasons why you should defend Thibs. And then there's the other people like myself that are just like, why are we wasting our time bringing him back when we know what it's going to be like next year with him as the coach? We know if Obi's here, Obi's not getting those minutes. We know if the team has Alec Burks and Julius Randle, and like even if the supporting cast like around them still gets better, like RJ and them, we know he's still gonna overly rely on those two guys because those have become his favorites. So it's like, why bring a coach back when you already know what you're gonna get? That leads to Jordan's question, which is, are you worried about the Knicks with Thibs year 3?
Hell yeah!
Yes, I am
Hell
very
yeah.
much concerned and very much worried because we are seeing habits, bad habits that have been going on the whole year. And only because of COVID and injuries have we seen Thibs have to modify these habits and change them. But next year, when certain guys are back from injury and there's no COVID really ravaging the league anymore, it's gonna be a matter of like, does he really want to play these guys? And like a lot of the young guys, they have shown they've earned playing time on this team, and it's just gonna be very interesting to see how this team goes forward with Thibs as the coach heading into next year.
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why people are like, well, let's just wait until they like let's see what happens when they get better players. We know what's going to happen. You think Tibbs is going to be like, oh, we got a really good shooting guard. Okay, Alec Burks, you're going from starting point guard, which we know you're not good at, to out of the rotation, and Grimes is still going to keep his spot off the bench? No. Grimes is going to 13th in the rotation. Burks will get his natural gunner off the bench role, and we'll just go to an all-vet rotation. That's Tibbs's wet freaking dream. Like, he would love to not have to play Quickly or Grimes next year. That would just be his best case scenario. So I don't understand. Like, is there a path to us getting enough players to win anything meaningful? I don't see it. Maybe you guys do, but I certainly don't. So, I mean, I talked about this long enough today, so I'm going to hand it off to Tyrese. But there are shades of gray here, but Tibbs has been a nightmare this season, and I don't get how you can. I don't get anyone if you want to keep Tibbs, because you think that, oh, there's just enough blurry things that maybe he'll turn it around next year, that's fine. But if you're actually saying that this team is so bad that nothing that's happened this year is Tibbs' fault, you don't know what the hell you've been watching for 65 games, and you're just wrong.
Yeah. First off, like, we're losing Kenny Payne. So, like, we've lost Mike Woodson and Kenny Payne in the last 2 years. And now we have to find a new assistant coach, which now, like, that's the guy who, like, developed our bigs, and our bigs, like, that's Julius's rock. We also have to talk about this. That's Julius's rock. What the fuck is that going to do for this team? Losing Kenny Payne is probably going to be a huge hit. Also, you have to consider the fact that, like, Tom Thibodeau's already not a good offensive coach. So now, at minimum, you need to get another assistant and an offensive coordinator. Maybe they could be both, but, like, you need somebody who can help this offense. If Tom Thibodeau is coaching offense next season, you're fucked. You're completely fucked. Because look at the way he had us running offense with basically Julius Randle be fucking LeBron. And last year he was able to do it. This year he can't. If he can't adjust and adapt, you're fucked. Now, you have to think about, like, personnel-wise, they have to get somebody who can run this fucking offense. Maybe like he elevates quickly, and if he does that, great, sure. I doubt it, because they just have too much. They have way too much dead money on this team to the point where it's just like you may as well just consolidate into something else. So, like, say they get a Brunson or a Sexton, whatever. Like, so you need to get somebody who can, like, run this offense next year. And you basically, like, need a better offensive personnel, and you have to choose which young guys are sitting, because there will be young guys sitting next year. Like, say Rose comes back, even if they get rid of Burks, they get rid of Noel, they get rid of Kemba, Rose is probably going to stay on this team, and Fournier is probably going to stay on this team. Meaning that some young dude is going to sit, and it might be your lotto pick. So now you're in a situation where it's like, your lotto pick is probably sitting, some of your young guys who are, like, really promising are probably sitting, and, like, their value is wasting away. Or even then, you might have to trade some young guys because, like, they just can't crack the rotation, and you can't get value from them. So, like, again, I said Obi's probably in the bubble. It wouldn't shock me next year. Like, what are you going to do Obi Top in year 3? Do you think anything's going to change? No. Like, Obi Toppin came back year 2, significantly improved, way better as a player, and he's still getting the same amount of minutes he got last year. So now you're in a situation where it's like, okay, well, Obi Toppin can't be in this team next year. Like, straight up, like, what are you going to do with him? What are you going to do with him? You have to find a way to play Cam. How are you going to play Cam? How are you going to play Grimes? How are you going to play all these guys who, like, want minutes and deserve minutes? How are you going to play Deuce? Like,
yeah, they've got to consolidate. You're just hammering that point home, but I think, especially if you bring Tibbs back, you have to consolidate.
Like, some of these guys have to go, and I hate saying that, but, like, it might even be the lotto pick. You might have to get rid of the lotto pick because, like, where's the lotto pick going to play on this team? If it doesn't crack like the top 4, what are you going to do with, like, say, Shaden Sharp? Where does he go? And if Shaden Sharp plays, then, like, Grimes won't play, or, like, Cam won't play. Like,
this is why you can't bring him back.
You can't bring him back. You cannot bring him back, but they got to bring him back. So now it's a situation of, like, what young guy's going to go? It's probably going to be, like, OB plus 1. That's what I would assume. Like, OB plus 1, especially if Cam gets a contract. You have to play Cam. And if you don't play Cam, now it's okay. You just traded a first-round pick for nothing. So you have to play Cam.
Yeah.
It just seems like there's so many holes to fix, and a lot, like, this is kind of the front office covering their ass, because if you fire your coach, once you fire your coach, your ass is on the clock. That's how it is in the front office. Like, basically, you could say, all right, this was a down year. He won coach of the year last year. If some of our players play up to snuff, we could probably, like, salvage the season, chase the play-in spot, so on and so forth. I understand that. Like, if you want to do that, sure. But if you fire Tibbs, then it's, okay, well, Johnny Bryant save our ass. And if he doesn't save your ass, he's getting fired, you're getting fired, and we're going to get a new front office. So a lot of this is just, like, them trying to save their ass.
And this is why we talk about so much these seemingly innocuous and meaningless short-term decisions, even going back to last season, have huge consequences. Because if Tibbs had been a little bit more liberal and played, let's say he played Obi and Randle, 5 minutes a game together for the past, I don't know, season and a half or whatever, whenever Obi turned it around last season, and then definitely the start of this season when he came back and proved. And there was a meaningful sample size that showed, okay, Obi just can't cut it inside against bigs. He's not a 5. That tandem just doesn't work. We would be, as fans, a little bit more at peace with the idea of, okay, like, he just doesn't fit on this team. We got to trade him. But that freaking unknown is just out there. And it's out there in so many cases. Oh, we don't know what Emmanuel Quickley is like as a true point guard in the starting lineup. There are some people who feel pretty confident he isn't one. But the truth of the matter is part of the fan base is going to be upset because we just don't know. And we don't know it because Tibbs has made all these short-sighted, rigid decisions and just kept hammering the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said with the unknown, there's so many unknowns on this team. It's just like
straight up next year, if the front office needs to sit Tibbs down and be like, you need to be more creative. You need to do different things. You cannot do the same thing you've been doing the last 2 years because clearly, off last year, it doesn't work. And if he can't do that, he should get fired. But he should just get fired now, so you don't waste 30 games or 35 games into the season trying to salvage this.
That's my biggest point because you end up like, okay, you bring Tibbs back, right? You end up consolidating, then you fire him. Like, what happens to the pieces that you could just consolidate that you could have just kept from the beginning? Like
this is clearly them just trying to extend their timeline a year, and it's like I kind of get it because it's like, okay, the front office themselves have been doing pretty good. Like the drafts has been good, free agency has been like meh, but at the same time, it's like this was their first big free agency, and you can't get mad at them because like they played the market. They played to the market. They thought they got a steal in Kemba. Nerlens Noel was great last year. Alec Burks is probably the best free agent signing, but like he's playing fucking point guard. When he was off the bench, he was fine. So now you're looking at a situation where basically just like you have to try to salvage all your moves. You have to try to salvage your season. But now it's like if you fire the coach, then like everybody knows, okay, well, now you're on the clock. This is them trying to like extend their timeline, and I get that. But at the same time, it's like you gotta switch it up. Tibbs has to switch it up. The roster needs a bit of a shakeup. The young guys need to play. And if that's not happening, then like everybody's getting canned. And like that needs to be hammered home.
Who would you guys say long term are the 4 most important Knicks players like right now today? If you had to, and assume Randall's one of them. Assume Randall, like the Knicks don't plan on trading Randall.
They won't. I'd say top 4 easily RJ Quickly, Grimes, Mitch. Yeah, I think that's probably top 4.
If you had to guess, how many minutes this season do you think Quickly, Barrett, Julius, and Mitch have been on the floor together?
Probably less than like 300, right?
It's barely 100.
That's wow.
That's pathetic. That's humiliating. Like, how can you do that?
Oh my god.
That's malpractice. That's malpractice.
Yeah, that's just, no other team would do that. That's so bad.
And like when we beg for creativity, we're not even asking for like Ty Lue type of creativity. I'm just asking for like just play different lineups together, play different players together, stagger, just like do something.
Just like give me like 5 minutes to 7 minutes small ball a night. That's it. Just give me a little bit of small ball. Play quickly with the good players. Fucking like stagger your lineups. Make sure like one of RJ and Randall on the court at all times. The bare minimum I'm asking for, and he can barely do that. He's staggering now because people are hurt.
Yep.
It took people getting hurt for him to stagger. Like Doc Rivers is better than him this year. Bro, Doc Rivers was fucking ass. Doc Rivers is ass. Frank Vogel is better than him, and they're ready to run him out of town. Like he's probably been a bottom 3 coach this year. Bottom 3. Like
yeah.
I don't like. I get it. Loyalty and like they like the fact he's able to like talk with the media because like they don't really talk, and I don't care if our front office talks. Like it doesn't really matter. I don't want to hear what Leon Rose has to say because it's gonna be a bunch of fucking robot speak.
It's gonna be a bunch of nothing statements.
Exactly, but like at the same time, like the dude needs to be better, and like if you're not telling him to be better, then like you're just going to delay the inevitable.
Virgil X says, if Thibs coached like he did in year 1, would it present different results this year? I feel like it would. Mitch and IQ got serious burn, whereas this year things feel so rigid. Last year things were also rigid too. I mean,
he played Alfred Payton.
Yeah, he played Alfred Payton. Reggie Bullock was like, you knew what Reggie Bullock was gonna do. He was gonna do Reggie Bullock things. Last year was like super, super, super rigid because like the players that we had were so simple, so they all had to do simple things.
And Julius fucking was an MVP.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Julius
I
was like
think I
God.
think people don't understand that. Like people, the way people's brains work is our over under going into the season was 21 and a half. We won 43 games. Therefore, Tibbs must have done a really good job. But our over under would not have been 21 and a half if the freaking people who project that stuff knew that Randall was going to shoot 78 million% from 15 to 20 feet. You know, like if we were going to get the type of output we got, that had nothing to do with Tibbs. You think Randall shooting 60% from 18 feet had to do with Elfrid Payton putting some magic on the ball and like him shooting more contested shots? No. It was just Randall ran a little hot that year, and a lot of his shots went in for whatever reason. We got, as Tyrese just said, an MVP-like season from Julius Randle. We got 40% from three from RJ Barrett. We got 40% from three from Reggie Bullock. All of these things were, in my opinion, in spite of Tibbs.
We
Not
had like
because
8 guys shoot over like 40%, which was like
They had
insane.
6 rotation players, and it was also like Knox and Frank who shot like 39 and like 47.
right.
Yeah, and that was like that was just absurd. You're never gonna see that type of stuff again. Like that's just
It's
like
I don't know if you will
godlike
never,
shooting.
I don't know if you'll like never see it again because like again you have Fournier, Burks before like this cold streak. You think quickly he could probably get around that number. RJ could definitely get around that number. Like I think the shooting on the team is fine. Like I don't think it would be 40% again like that, but you could definitely get like 37, 38 to 40. But like again, Randall was a top 10 player last year. A top 10 player. And like that's inarguable. Like, all the people who played, like he was a top 10 player. You'll probably never get that Randall again.
Ever.
Nah, and like last year, like he in his question he asked Virgil asks us if Thibs coached like he did in year one. I feel like he kind of is still coaching like it's
Right.
year one because like everything is still pretty super. He's trying to simplify things for guys in these roles when they can do more complex things. Like we want to see more creativity because we have players have improved like RJ and Quickly, and we also got better personnel around them with Fournier. So it's like
Like
Yeah, that's such a good point by you, Sam, because I should take back a little bit of what I said because Tibbs' coaching performance was better last year because the team was catered to the way he coaches better. Like his rigidity was more incentivized because we had a lot of one-tool players. Like Reggie Bullock is the perfect Tibbs player. Tibbs can put him in a box and just be like, I know you're going to shoot and you're going to defend. But Evan Fournier isn't going to do one thing. He can do a lot of things pretty okay. He's a terrible defender, but I mean, you guys saw that one-handed whip pass he made across court
beautiful,
tonight. That was one
beautiful.
of the best passes you'll ever see. Like, but Fournier has not been allowed to do
yeah,
all season because it's like, oh hey, it's that Reggie Bullock. It's white European Reggie Bullock. Let's do that, you know.
Nah, seriously, it's like he puts
Sorry,
these guys. Yeah, he puts these guys in like these one roles, and you know, it was better last year because we had simplified players like Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton, he knew Elfrid Payton was gonna at least try to drive to the rim and try to lay up the ball and try to make plays like that. But like, you know, he knew what he was getting from those guys, and like now with more complex players, like even Kemba when Kemba was like not completely washed in the beginning of the year, like he just had to. He didn't allow. I mean, Kemba himself didn't allow himself to really play the way that he should, but also like the way that Thibs coach didn't cater to the way Kemba needs to play as well. So
yeah. I mean, you could just like the team is less like the team has more skill to it than last year. They should not be as bad as they are, and that comes with the coaching because like the way these players are being utilized is incorrect.
yeah.
I think that's pretty inarguable at this point. And you guys nailed it when you talk about the versatility. Like we have so many players that can play multiple positions. Tyrese was
with all the
harping
wings
on
that we have.
Tyrese was harping on the team playing small, and he was like, "I'll even concede if you want to play small with Mitch plus 4 shooters. Let's see Cam and RJ play the 4. You know, like that's a version of versatility that we can throw out there."
They have so many lineups. They have just like a bunch of lineups because a bunch of fucking wings who are like 6'5" to 6'8". And like even the
Yeah.
guards can defend up 2 spots. It's like it makes no sense as to why we're not seeing all these lineups. But like, I can read that other question too.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Benedict Mathurin? I feel like he'd be the Donovan Mitchell of his class, where he outplays his draft position. I think he's a top 10 pick. I think the Knicks probably will get him. I don't know if I should like say that. It's probably a fucking big word or some shit, but like I think when the Knicks land, I think they probably end up with Mathurin. So either Mathurin or Issa.
Is he a combo guard like Mitchell, or is he a point guard?
2-3. He's a 2-3 wing.
Oh, okay.
You'll see him with Arizona. Like he's a 2-3 wing. He plays like bigger Grimes.
Okay.
Or like a little less defense, way more off the bounce, way more passing.
He somehow looks smaller to me than.
I know, 6'7".
He looks smaller than those
He's
guys.
scrawny. He's scrawny as hell. That's why. I think
That's
he's
what
like
it must
6'7",
be because
190. Also, by the way, we just dropped to 11th because the Lakers lost.
Oh, come on! Are you serious?
Oh, not good. Jesus. I was thinking of it the other way around. God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 6'6". Okay.
Yeah, he's
But
6'6", 195.
Oh, but wait, no, we didn't drop because the Lakers are technically in the playoffs.
No, it's depending on draft position though. So like if they lose the play-in, then.
Oh, really? I thought all play-in teams just jump ahead.
Nah, it's basically whoever loses the play-in like gets in the lottery.
That's bullshit.
And then they'll do a coin. If we're still tied, they'll do a coin flip. Actually, no, that's for out of the lottery. My bad.
I don't need to see what you call it. The Lakers move up in the lottery again. I don't need to see the Laker jump. I don't need to see it again.
You're getting the Laker jump this year, baby. Then again, it'll be the Pelicans jump because the Pelicans will get their pick. So.
Oh hell no!
It can't be the Pelicans, and it can't be the Cavs. The Cavs have gotten like a million lottery.
Yeah, so the
Cavs will be in the playoffs, so I think they'll be good.
But... Oh yeah, duh, Jesus.
The Pelicans have the chance to like win number 1 and then get like number 2 or number 3.
Oh my! Are you serious?
David Griffin Black Magic or Lakers Black Magic? Your pick.
Can we get some Knicks Black Magic? Like, come on! Like, who's like no one's on our side over there?
Mark
on
Tatum,
the Mystic world.
We're gonna drop like 19th, and Mark Tatum's gonna be like, "I did it."
We're still paying the price for the Ewing rig.
Bring back David Stern. But Virgil asked, did we win tonight? Yeah, we did win tonight. It was a 30-point blowout. So we're kind of just riffing on whatever news in the Knicks world else is going on. We've had the Thibs news today.
CP versus the world.
Yeah, he was kind of a lot of people were. I mean, I kind of understood where they were coming from though, because I mean, I forgot what his original stance was, but
I think he's basically just like continuity, you know? Like, I understand the idea of like continuity, but at the same time, it's like, if he sucks next season, you're firing him anyway.
Yeah, so it's like, why delay the inevitable? Why waste? Why you're gonna end up consolidating this offseason, so you're gonna end up shipping off pieces that you can end up keeping if you have a different coach, anyways. So you're gonna consolidate, lose those pieces. You're gonna fire the coach anyways, and then you're gonna be without those pieces, and you're gonna be without a head coach.
My only point is like they have to consolidate anyway because like there's just too many young pieces on this roster.
But why? But see, like with Thibs, you're kind of forced to consolidate sooner.
I mean, I think you're forced to consolidate because like you just have you have all these contracts in your roster like you don't want, and you shouldn't open up roster spots. Like you don't want Brooks on the team next year. You don't want Noel on the team next year. You don't want Kim on the team next year. You guys are all expiring. You might as well just like turn them into like a $20 million player instead of like just having them sit on the bench, not be with the team, and then tack off at the end of the year.
So assume that we can make one like reasonable trade for one player and then keep the rest of the roster. What is you guys' ideal rotation headed into next season?
I'd say point guard X. I want to see
with X being someone we trade for.
Yeah, point guard X. I want to see Grimes, RJ, Randall, Mitch. I think it'd probably be Rose, IQ, Fournier, Cam, Sims.
For me, I just promote IQ to the starting point guard position. Let it fly.
Like, I want that to happen, but at the same time, it's like
they're just gonna let it happen.
They're not gonna let it happen. And if there were no bad contracts on the roster, I think they'd let it happen. But the fact that like they basically have all these like all this dead cap, like all these contracts that I basically don't want on the team, they're all expiring, and it's like you might as well just turn them into something because we have like all these second round picks we're not going to use. We have excess first if we need to get somebody. Like if you could turn it like Malcolm Brogdon, I don't even like Malcolm Brogdon, but at the same time, it's like he helps.
Brogdon's made of paper mache.
I know, but like even if there's like okay, play in Z, would you rather have like Burks, Noel, Kemba, or would you have like Malcolm Brogdon and like be down a second? That's kind of where I'm at this point, where it's just like
I trade them for seconds.
He don't need seconds. That's the problem. Like the team has way too many seconds.
Get
like,
some more.
But like
trade them all.
Yeah,
after.
You have 4 seconds next year, and I think you have like 3 seconds the year after, and then like you have 2 seconds until like 2026.
Give me all the seconds. Flip them. Give them to Sam Presti for whatever useful young player that he doesn't want anymore.
Yeah, you just gotta have cap space for no reason. That's kind of the problem. And it's like that's if they have cap space to work with, because like I think only 2 teams have cap space. So like you're looking at TPEs and cap space.
Hopefully, Aller gets creative. Does something because
I think they just end up doing sign and trade because it's just like you might as well.
I'm surprised that the front office, like, because you were saying earlier, Tyrese, that the front office like is hanging on to Tibbs because they want to prolong their shelf life, like. Because if they fire him, they're on to their second coach, which is usually as many coaches as they get. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is kind of a unique situation in the sense of like they could make a pretty reasonable argument of like, hey, like look how well we've drafted. We drafted all these guys who are playing very well per minute, and this first coach for whatever reason, like I know we hired him, but he just like didn't play them. Like, can we get a redo? Like to at least extend their shelf life a little bit.
Yeah, but I said that is Dolan.
Yeah,
like I don't trust Dolan doing that for like this front office, even if he's done them for like 20 years.
So what you call it? Virgil asks, so next year is another transition year, or is the new coach going to be like Thibs year one? I think you just
go ahead. My bad.
Now go ahead. I gotta.
I was saying it's gonna be a transition year since like I said it was gonna be two transition years because like, I think they're just waiting at the market at this point. They're really waiting for disgruntled star X to be like, I want to trade, and then they come through with like, we have all these picks and young players that like we're willing to trade for this guy, and we're like, we won't trade RJ, but we'll trade you like everybody else. That's kind of where we're at. I'm just like, they're waiting for 2024. Like Donovan Mitchell, if he loses round 1 this year, you think he's staying in Utah longer? No. Like at that point, he's gonna have a 2+1. 2+1 is usually like I'm ready to be traded. So, cool. I think like James Harden had 2+1. I think Anthony Davis had a 2+1. Like 2+1 is usually like prime trade season, and yeah, like if you're the Knicks right now, you're probably like the leaders of the pack because like nobody else has picks. Like you look at the Celtics. Like the Celtics, what the fuck are the Celtics gonna trade besides like Jaylen Brown, who they don't want to trade? The Heat, like. Once the Heat give up like Tyler Hero, unless they're trading Tyler Hero, what does the Heat have? So,
I'm just excited for the Knicks to trade for Mitchell, and then them to hit their first slump, and the people to come out of the woodwork and say we need a true point guard. Like Mitchell's not a true point guard. So,
God, you know it's gonna happen too. You know it's gonna happen too. That's the problem. but yeah, like hell, I said it. I wouldn't like it, but like I wouldn't be surprised if like Damian Lillard was like, you know what, I want up out of here, and the Knicks and the Lakers are the only 2 teams bidding because nobody else wants to trade Damian Lillard.
I don't want the SoundCloud rapper, man.
Again, think about it. How many teams in the league right now will trade for Damian Lillard?
Not much.
And how many teams will he like go to?
Not much.
I'm telling you right now, it's probably the Lakers and the Knicks.
Dame, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, like, leave us alone, man.
Leave us
alone.
It's probably the Lakers and the Knicks because, like, think about it. The Sixers just got Harden, and the Celtics are like rolling right now, and they won't give up Jaylen Brown for Dame. So if that's the case, start IQ, Grimes, RJ, Julius Randle, Mitch, bench Rose, Deuce, Lotto pick, Reddish, Obi.
That is with a creative coach right there.
Obi
and
will
somehow you
that
get Sims some minutes too, but like
I would like that, but like it will never happen. It'll never happen. Not with Tibbs. I don't think like Obi time starting at the 5. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Off the bench, maybe with a more creative coach, maybe if you stagger them.
There's no other team that wouldn't do that. By the way, every other coach with this group of bigs would have 3 centers running or would have 3 bigs running all year. it would be Mitch, it would be Randall, and it would be Obi. And he would get each of them, it would be like Julius playing 35, 36 minutes a game, Mitch playing 30 minutes a game, and Obi playing like 25 minutes a game. And they would be staggered so that those were the only three bigs throughout the game.
Yeah, and like even with a coach like Nate McMillan, who's a pathetic like adjustments coach, and especially come playoff time, he even like does like John Collins at the 5. I mean, that's not a good thing, but like he tries it out. Like he staggers John Collins at the 5 at times when like Clint Capella's not having it going, and like or Congo's in foul trouble. He'll put John Collins at the 5. So it's like other coaches, even bad coaches, they'll try some different things. Like I don't understand why Thibs is like so above that, but yeah, but like I do like that lineup, Jordan, but I just don't see it being realistic happening, especially with the reports of Thibs coming back. Maybe if they fire him midway, 15 games in, whatever it is, and they they let Johnny Bryant run the show at that point if he's not already gone to his college alma mater as well or something. And maybe he'll try something as creative as that. Hopefully he's still here though.
The problem, not problem, his Jordan's starting lineup is my ideal starting lineup, so I'm with him there. The problem is what Tyrese said earlier. Like that team right there, that is without Fournier, without Burks, without Noel, like for us to not, and without Kemba, for us to not have any of them, even if you assume Kemba's just a sunk dead cost, we're not going to get anything back for, we're going to get stuff back for what they trade them for. Like you can't just, they're not just going to get rid of Fournier and Burks for nothing, so it's just so hard without consolidation for all of the current young guys we have right now to see time on this team.
I've said this shit for 2 years and people are finally starting to get it. Like this team cannot exist with all the young pieces. There's just too much youth. There are too many good players, really. They're just like, there are good enough players on this team, like just too many. You don't have enough mounts. You don't have enough mounts, and it'll suck because like some of these guys are probably going to be like better and better teams. But like, if you can't put them in situations to like be their best player, then like why are they here? You might as well just get something.
So who do you think? Who do you guys think the young guys who were most likely to trade are? Obi seems like number. And Deuce.
Obi Deuce. Because if they get a point guard, where does Deuce play?
Yeah.
Because Rose is probably going to be the backup point guard. If Tibbs on the roster, Rose is backup point guard. They're not trading Rose. So you look at a situation where it's like, let's say Brunson. I'll just say Brunson. Brunson, Rose, IQ, Deuce is your 4th string point guard, maybe. And he has a team option next year.
Yep.
And you're gonna go auto pick. And if you don't make any trades, you have 2 picks in 2023. What the fuck are you doing with Deuce in this team?
Yeah, they've got it, and we talked about this a few times. I think they've got to accept that they're not going to overwhelmingly win every trade, because if we do nothing, as Tyrese just said, by 2023 we're going to have way too many guys, way too many pieces. So if they can get that, like even if they can get 90% on the dollar for like a good player, they might have to accept losing or breaking even on a trade just to make our team more functional going forward.
Ricky Ricardo says Knicks suffer from playing too many guys. I think that was a huge problem that didn't get talked enough. Yeah, I mean,
I think part of it is like Tibbs loves the depth, and that makes Tibbs more rigid as a coach. When he plays like 8 guys, he usually does like his best combinations. It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. How do you do better with less guys? How are you more creative with less guys?
Yeah. That is interesting, but you're definitely right, because when he has 10 guys, he just basically treats them like hockey shifts.
Yeah, it's basically like the starting unit, the bench unit. I rarely will stagger. Yep. I hate it so much. I hate it so fucking much.
And he also like views each. The weirdest part about it, it happened so clear. We played Miami like a few weeks ago, back when we were able to have a 10-man rotation, and RJ had like 25 through the first 3 quarters, but the starters as a whole were like minus 30 for the game, and the bench was like plus 15. So for the start of the 4th quarter, he had Burks, who was coming off the bench that game, IQ, and he had the whole bench unit finish the game. But RJ individually was way better than Burks. And I remember thinking, like, this would be a really good time for RJ to run with the bench because he's having a really good game. But, like, Tibbs doesn't view it like that. He views them through the lens of what unit they're playing in.
That's why he loves, like, fucking net rating and, like, on off and shit like that. And it's like, dude, there's shit called, like, two-man lineups. Like, check cleaning the glass. Like, that shit is on cleaning the glass. What kind of analytics are you getting, dude?
Ricky Ricardo says also a similar problem last season with the Hawks, and you saw the
Yeah.
Hawks kind of consolidated this year by giving us Cam Reddish for Kevin Knox, who they're really not going to play. So it kind of shortened up their rotation, less mouths to feed. They did start off getting better when Cam initially got traded, but as the Hawks do, they kind of faltered a little bit. So it didn't work all the way for them, but it kind of cleared up the log jam that they had.
Oh shit, Lonnie. Sorry. Lonnie Walker, game winner.
Yeah, he just saved like a portion of one of my parlays just now.
Let's fucking go.
Sam, how many bets are you firing over there at night? What you've got like a whole spreadsheet? Shit, man.
I've got like I usually put like 10 bets in a night or something, but like
Damn, that's sick.
I usually put like $1.50 on them. So it's
Okay.
like yeah, I put like a little small amount each one because like I know the odds are like super, super high. So it's like if I get like some type of profit out of it, it's something. So
Hell yeah. Plus, it's just fun to have a sweat.
Man,
yeah.
the Spurs are fucking fun to watch. Like, since I live down here, like the Spurs are fucking fun because they also like do shit that's cool. That like not fucking doing all bench units and all starters. Like Popovich is washed and he's still a better coach than Tibbs this year. That's insane.
Because he's just being creative and like letting the young guys like do their thing. Which, wow! Imagine having a coach that lets your young guys play well. Imagine that. Like, look, Keldon Johnson, like he's been getting his game off this year. Him and Lonnie Walker, they've been getting their game off.
Man, I was hoping like they didn't trade Derek White because like I would have loved like Keldon or some shit, but
we had it for a bit with Mike Miller. Longing for the days of Mike Miller. What a life.
We're down tremendously.
Yo,
bad.
Tyrese, remember that day I brought up Fizdale on here?
You're sick.
Remember
sick.
that? Remember that
No,
day?
I do, and it's still bad. Like,
No, it's not bad because the day after, Schwinn posted a thread comparing Thibs' stretch to Fizdale's stretch when he got fired. And I said you called me a madman for that.
Stop.
The comparison was there.
Bro,
So Jeff, I had made a
menace.
comparison to Thibs' stretch when he went like 3-17 with the Knicks recently to when right before Fizdale got fired. Fizdale was like 4-18 or whatever it was. But at that point, the expectations for Fizdale's Knicks were not the same for Thibs' Knicks. So if Thibs is being held to a higher standard than what Fizdale was dealing with, especially with the rosters that they have, there's an issue there.
There's a
massive issue, and Tyrese called me crazy for comparing the two when there was clearly something there.
I mean, here's the thing. When the thing you're associated most with is a picture of you smiling with the scoreboard showing your team down 50 points, like all bets are off there. You're just like it's hard for any fan to be objective, like
like, come on, bro. Fizdale was literally like he put together on the board. You thought Alonzo Trier at point guard. I get it. Alec Burks starting at point guard is bad. Alonzo Trier is worse. Alonzo Trier's not even in the league right now.
True, but it's like similar recipes, different taste.
Man,
I bet Trier finished better at the rim than Burks does.
Listen, like you're comparing like great value Rice Krispies to like actual Rice Krispies.
But like, see, that's my point, though. That's my point. Fizdale was dealt with. He didn't have the most talented. He didn't have a roster like this one. Thibs has a way better roster, and
Bobby
put up
Portis was a hooper.
similar winning percentage to Fizdale did in the same amount of time frame. There was an issue there, and I'm not wrong for calling that out.
It's like going like Pepe Cola versus like fucking Dr. Thunder. Like, there's a difference. There's the difference between Pepe Cola and Dr. Thunder, even if they're both knockoffs. Like, please, man.
What did the board say? Like there was a picture of Tibbs with like
Fizdale with the board.
Or yeah, Fizdale with the
It was
board.
Oh yeah,
together.
it
He
said
said
together.
together.
You put together
There
on
it
it.
is. Yeah, man.
Opening night San Antonio had a picture of the board going together.
Shit.
That shit just burns in my memory.
Ricky Ricardo says Thibs won a playoff series with Nate effing Robinson as his best offensive player. Thibs can be creative if he wants to. He's just stubborn, but also gets beat in his head a few times as well. Well, that kind of
you gotta get rid of all the fucking players that like make him stubborn. You have to get at minimum.
Yeah,
you have to
that's
get rid of all
exactly.
the players that make him stubborn, and you have to
Yeah.
give him an offensive coach. You have to like to minimum. Those two things need to happen. If they
Yeah,
don't happen, you're fucked.
Yeah, when he played Nate Robinson, like the Bulls roster was depleted. He had no choice but to like run things through Nate Robinson and whatnot. So like you're seeing it now with the team being injured. He has no choice but to run Deuce minutes, Sims minutes. Like he's being forced to, and he was being forced to play Cam minutes as well. So when he has to, when his rosters like just completely shortened and devastated by injuries, that's the only time he really gets creative because he's forced to. Other than that, he's not really gonna. Sadly enough,
we never would have saw Grimes this year if the team stayed healthy, which
Yeah.
is insane.
And Grimes had to drop fucking 27 in his first start. Like Grimes had to hit 7 threes. Had COVID had to happen, and then he had to get COVID like right after, and the team had to spiral for him to get like solid rotation minutes. Like that's insane to think about. Like he had to basically like have the game of his life in his first start.
Oh, we got an interesting question from Brent here. I know this doesn't work in terms of contracts, but hypothetically, would you guys trade Randall for the hot back anti-vaxxer from Denver?
Stop, Brent, stop it. No, that's one of the worst contracts in the league. That's a bottom 5 contract in the league. Stop it.
A spot-up shooter with a bad back. A 6'10" spot-up shooter with a bad back.
With worse defense.
Horrible defense.
He can't even play here.
You guys are. I feel like you guys are selling Porter Jr. a little short here. Like as a player,
he's selling himself short. He can't even play here.
Now that's a fair argument.
and Knicks fans won't take up for him like the Nets fans do take up for Mr. Flat Earth over there.
God, man. Like, do you want us to be QAnon?
QAnon, you mean?
I don't care.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that trade. I feel like we could get much better value from what you call it. Ricky Ricardo says Porter is a rich man, Steve Novak.
Man, we're gonna fucking Schwinn argue with fucking mandate laws. You don't want that shit. You were Jeremy fucking making fucking puns about the mandate. Come on.
Oh man.
Jay from Florida is gonna lose his fucking mind.
Dog, I mean,
State is gonna be fucking mask off in the fucking hospital talking about.
I would hate MPJ as much as I hated Jason Smith. I remember Jason Smith, but like, was he really hated like that?
Yeah, what?
He was.
He was like white shitty Carlos Boozer. Like all he did was shoot 18-footers and miss them all. It was so annoying.
I just remembered him for his dancing. I remember that there was this like weird video that used to go around of him dancing all the time when he was on the Knicks, and that's all I remember from him. He looks like the classic white guy from sitcoms. That's what he looks like.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, you know, type of guy you want your daughter to bring home or whatever they say in the scouting reports, but he sucked.
Oh man. But yeah, MPJ, like, I just feel like we don't really need that type of player. Like,
so what are some Randall? What is something we could get back for Randall that you guys would be on board with?
That's nothing right now. Like,
it's very interesting.
Like, I would need like 2 picks in a young player, or like around like I probably need value. I need value for that.
Brent says MPJ's play style works better with all our young guys, elite cutter and shooter.
He can't.
Yeah, pass. He does those things well, but like he doesn't pass. He doesn't play defense. The shooting is very. Before the back injury, the shooting was very, very spotty. It was not looking like it was in the bubble.
He was shooting 20% from 3.
Yeah, it was like really spotty, his shooting.
57% from the line, 36% from the field. It was bad. And I get it, his first 2 seasons were like really solid. especially like last season where he was like 50, 40, 80. But like at the same time, the back is an issue. He's on a max contract, and back issues don't go away. This is another back issue after he had 2 back issues in college. Like there's a reason why he dropped, and people were like, "Oh, see,
He also
look,
got
why
that
did he
drop foot
drop?"
issue too, right?
Yep, drop foot issue. The fucking like, bad feet, bad back, max contract.
Brent just
Don't
shrugs.
don't fucking
Brent,
shrug at me, Brent.
Brent, I think you could do better than MPJ. I really do.
Is he even supposed to come back this season?
They're saying he
Yeah.
might, but like I doubt it.
They say he might. Him and Jamal Murray, they both might come back.
That might be interesting for the West, though.
Yeah, if they come back and they look like 65% of their former selves, that gives Jokic way better players than Facundo Campazzo and Jermichael Green.
Man, we was hyping up Luka Vildosa like he was fuck. We were.
Oh man, I remember the days of us just looking up Luka Vildosa highlights and like being like, I can't wait to see him play. And then
I wrote so many articles. Bro.
And then dude ends up having like a piece of ham for ankle.
Yep. He was hooping in Argentina though. He was him.
He has elite shooting ability, but like Tyrese said, bad back, doesn't do anything besides shoot, score, and that contract is crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. It's not worth it.
It's a horrible. It's one of the worst contracts in the league, dude. It's one of the worst contracts in the league.
Yeah. So I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah.
Following this game, Knicks winning a blowout. Shout out to the Knicks, ruining their tanking spot. Did get to see some fun minutes from IQ, Obi, and Deuce. So, that's always fun. Hopefully Grimes is on the mend. Heard he was able to practice with the team recently, so that's good. Showing signs of progress, making towards that return. Thank you guys all for watching.
Wait. March Madness predictions. Gotta get those in.
We do?
What y'all saying for March Madness? Who plays tomorrow? Wait, it's like
a lot of teams.
Oh, shit. This is like my first time actually like seriously watching March Madness.
Seriously?
I don't watch that shit, dude.
I watch it every year.
Like I'll tune in if like the game is hype, but like I'm actually gonna like follow it for once, like true TV following.
Oh wow,
man,
that's dedication right there. I've every year.
I've had 2 TVs for March Madness, like for as long as I can remember. It's the best. Like the next 2 days, I'm just done. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to watch the next game Friday.
Like True TV, TBS, fucking
CBS.
I'm watching it. Yeah,
TNT.
I know. All I know is fucking Zaga's going all the way. So
I'm betting
Are they?
I'm betting Zaga.
I'm tough on Zags. I'm tough on the Zags only because they don't play they don't play comp in their conference play. So like I just don't know if they battle tested.
We say that every year, but
every year they still never win.
But at least they can get to the finals at least. And there's no Baylor this year, so like yeah.
There isn't. But like there's some other teams that I'm watching that have been on a roll recently. My 2 Cinderella picks though are Indiana. I think Indiana's going to be that first 4 team that makes it to at least an Elite 8. There's always that team that makes it from like the first 4, like one of those lower like 11, 12 seeds that always makes it. And I just like the momentum that Woodson's team is riding lately. Like they've just been hot recently.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends is like biggest of anybody you'll ever meet who loves his team. This guy loves IU. He's getting married this year on IU's football field.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that would make him quite happy if that happened. I'm like I like root for IU because of that. So yeah, let's go IU.
Yeah, and I also got to give some credit to Virginia Tech. I can't ignore a 7th seed crushing through the ACC conference tournament. I can't ignore that. They got so much momentum going right now, and they got a pretty good squad. So
I don't like Virginia Tech because Julian goes to Virginia Tech, and I'm not rocking with that shit.
A lot of us aren't, but I can't ignore it. I can't ignore the momentum. That's like one thing I always take into account now, because like I've seen in the past, like I think it was like South Carolina a couple years ago, they ran through their conference tournament, and then they ended up making a surprise run. I think it was in 2017. Obviously, they beat Duke.
They made it to the Final Four.
Yeah, so like I can't ignore the conference tournament runs. Like when those teams are gaining.
So what about Iowa?
Iowa definitely for sure, but I'm kind of weary on them because so many people are in on them. It's like this one of those. It's one of those picks that can end up biting you in the butt if you pick them in all your brackets. So I'm cautious with them. I do have them going like to at least the Elite Eight in one of my
Mhm.
brackets. So, but yeah, I think they'll be pretty solid. Tennessee gained some pretty good momentum in the SEC tournament, and
Yeah,
they got some good guard play. So
I want to see how fucking Kennedy Chandler hoops. I want to see
yeah,
that.
he's been pretty good recently.
Yeah, he's been going up draft boards, so I'm interested to see how he plays.
And you can't ignore those teams that got good guard play. That's always key in these March Madness tournament runs. Because
Yep.
if you got good guard play, you'll go far. If not, God bless with those post actions. Uh but yeah, I mean, full slate of March Madness games tomorrow. Hope everyone enjoys watching those. Some of the first round games end up being pretty good, but a lot of times they end up being blowouts. So hopefully we get
We're watching future Knicks at work.
the former with some close games because you know those are always exciting on the first day. But yeah, I think that's all we got for today. Thank y'all for commenting, interacting, giving some questions, some takes. Always appreciate it. Make sure that y'all check out the links in the description for everything Strickland related, the site, the merch, the Patreon. Support us there. Yeah, and I think that's it.